Unless I was doing the Rhode Island Reds, and then I'd only have 3. I wouldn't have that. Now, you're going to find that people have variations on what they do. Some people they don't want to promote ivory. All right. You'll have other people that want to use certain shampoos. You'll have some people using a softening agent. They'll want to use a drop of glycerin to keep the feathers soft. You'll have all kinds of things that people will choose to do, but experiment. I mean, we've had the odd casualty, but that's part of the learning process. You know, for instance, I remember I might have told this story before. The guy, he was the surgeon from Gravenhurst. There was a head of the Chinese. What's his name, Ed? Norman Bethune. Yeah. Norman Bethune was a great man. He was a head of the Chinese Republican Army at the time, as far as their medical corps was concerned. Chairman Mao thought his strengths were there. But before he went there, Norman became appointed as the head surgeon at University of McGill in the hospital. And the CEO called him in and said, Norman, you know, you're a brilliant young surgeon, but until you came here, our mortality rate was not quite as high as it is since you've come here. And Norman said, well, it's simple. If you don't take chances, you won't lose people. So chickens are a little like that too. You got to take some chances. So I present something. I try not to get too artistic in my approach, but it's not carved in stone, because you might find something that would work for you. So it's the very same. If someone finds they get out of a bed a certain way and they have to do their own ritual, like Ed gets up in the morning, I know his timetable. I know right now he'll be just putting a little bit of vinegar into his cup in the morning. And then I know if I call just about 5 minutes after 7, Marion will have already called to make sure he got home from the night before. And then I'll know his mother is happy that he got home from the night before. And we talk about a few of those things. But you know, life is timing. So that works for Ed, and who might argue with something like that? So the first one here, I'm going to put in some soap. Now, again, you got to remember I have a bit more of a liberal background than Ed. And you learn something from everyone. I remember once being in a show, and what's the guy down at St. Catharines? Beamer. Ralph Beamer. Ralph said to me, and you learn something from every judge, some things you don't want to learn, but you learn, and he said if only people used more vinegar, they wouldn't have that soap caught up in their hackles. So I take a tablespoon here and measure it very carefully to make sure I have enough vinegar in the water, so I'm not going to have it. Now that's because of me being exposed to Ralph saying, get that soap out of their hackles. Now we'll do the Koshin first. And so this is what Ed and I can enjoy. And again, being liberal, I usually add it. In this case, well, I can put the weighting in here. Now this is what you got to be cautious about. I said to Ed, I said, Ed, was it the Thorndale show we once sent that white rock to that ended up being kind of a green? We just got a little too much bluing in it. And I said, they probably think it's a new breed we have up there. So you got to be careful, and you got to be used to doing it. So you might get the odd one, but it won't come out very quickly. So you make sure you got your bluing, and you'll get so, depending on what you're going to use, or your color, you'll be able to tell the color you're looking for in your white, and how you hook it in there. They'll say sky blue. Well, what's sky blue? Sky blue is something we've seen recently for a couple hours. Outside of that, we wouldn't know what sky blue is when we live in this part of Canada. That's all there is to it. So now, Ed, could you bring one of these